every good hero and even movie at this point needs a good villain. And there's definitely no lack of good villains, especially with like modern movies. I mean, you think of things like Thanos, Voldemort, Hans Linda or Landa, sorry, Joker. There's countless ones, and undoubtedly they're all iconic. But my problem with villains, and specifically modern villains, isn't with the lack of good villains, I guess. It's just the lack of true villains. And by that, I mean, it feels like now more than ever, a lot of villains, not specifically the ones I listed are ones I have issues with, but a lot of the villains in modern movies, even like smaller movies that aren't huge blockbusters like an Avengers movie or something, they have villains that are sympathetic. So they're not even like, sometimes they're not even really full villains because from their point of view, it makes sense, why they're doing what they're doing. They're either like kind of brainwashed since they were younger, or they have a horrible view on the world because something happened to them. And I'm not saying that makes them heroes, but I'm just saying I kind of just miss the day and age where a villain was a villain and a hero was a hero. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand why villains are more complicated nowadays. I mean, that was a huge complaint that, villains are too one dimensional and they're all forgettable and they're not memorable. And I would agree that villains like Thanos are, very memorable, or Loki even though, again, now he's kind of literally a hero. They're more memorable because they are complicated, because they have their own moral code that they follow. Like Thanos, for example, he truly believes that what he's doing is right. He truly believes that he is helping save the universe by killing the universe. And it is really fucked up, but in a way, it does make sense. Like, if you could take a step back and look at it through his lens, you could see what he's trying to do or where he's coming from. That doesn't mean you agree with it, but you understand like his thought process. But then you have villains like Voldemort or Joker even, who are completely evil. In my opinion, no redeeming qualities, and you don't really see the vision whatsoever. And they're just as memorable. So I think you could do both. I think you can have both here and have it work. I really just miss eras like, the 80s where it was such a clear-cut hero and villain. And now I'm not saying I want to get rid of this entirely. I'm not saying I want to get rid of complicated villains entirely, but I'm just saying I wish it was more frequent nowadays than it is to have a true villain facing off against a hero. I feel like the only areas or only movies, I guess, we get this is in like action movies, something like a John Wick, or like a James Bond, where it's like it's kind of like the dad movie genre, where it seems like a movie your dad would put on, then the villain will probably just be a villain. The villain's probably not going to be like this complicated philosophical person who has like a moral code, a moral message to send. It's probably not going to be any of that. But outside of those movies at least, it probably won't be any of that. And that's kind of why I'm bringing this up, because I just want to see it more. I love when it's just so much easier to root against the villain when you don't feel any ounce of like sadness for them. Like for Thanos, I didn't really feel bad, but I kind of did in a way too, because he had to kill his daughter, and in his mind he thinks that's right. And I feel bad because he's been so, I don't even know what the word is, like scorn or jaded in life to believe that sacrifices like that are necessary to do what he needs to do. And to me, that's kind of, sympathetic. Whereas, like I said, someone like Voldemort or Hans Landa, it's like, yeah, I don't really feel sorry for you whatsoever. And I'm hoping you die in a bad way. And that's kind of fun when you're watching a movie. Like, it's annoying having such a good actor play a good villain because you really hate that character or that person. But it's so satisfying, it's so cathartic to see that same person get what's coming to them by the end of the movie. At least, in an ideal movie. So, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I want to see more straight up villains. And again, I don't want to see these complicated villains just go away because I think those work as well. So let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with what I had to say about this? I mean, do you think it needs to stay the way it is? Because I don't think it's necessarily like an immediate thing that needs to change. I mean, obviously, most modern movies, if they're written well, I don't think that the whole villain thing changes a ton. But for me personally, as a personal preference, I just kind of want to see more of what we used to have just because I like it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. And if you stuck around, I do appreciate you being here. And I will see you guys in the next one.